Unprecedented flooding has for weeks and months now been wreaking havoc across some states in Nigeria, especially in the largely agrarian north-central parts, where more than 75,000 hectares of farmland have been submerged, destroying crops and animals, running into billions of naira in cost. There have also been more than 500 deaths been reported and close to 50,000 houses destroyed. For a region which is reputed to produce much of Nigeria's major staples and grains, and where majority of the farmers had before this time taken flight from their farms owing to incessant terrorist attacks from marauding herdsmen, this is indeed double tragedy. Shittu Mohammed is a politician, actually a member of Nigeria's ruling party, the All Progressives Congress, a farmer and a businessman from Niger State. He joins us now to have a conversation. Good morning, Malam Mohammed. Good to have you join us this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
Good morning.
All right, we won't start with you as a politician. Let's start with you as a farmer. We know that the situation is bad. How bad is it for you personally in Niger State where you farm and then in the entire north-central part of Nigeria? How bad really is the situation as we speak today?
Thank you. Good morning, Nigerian. It's so bad that it has swept a lot of villages. It has swept off a lot of farms, and there are many people are losing both their farm and their houses. And as I'm talking to you, it is still counting. If you look, it has cut off the south and north around Lokoja. And we are also afraid that around Jeba axis, this will not occur. If you look at the Benue River and Niger River, you know, the confluence in Lokoja has really cost the nation a lot. You can see that even the cities like Abuja is affected because you can see the queue of the fuel. So it's something that as a people and as a country, we need to sit down and map out how we can prevent this in future. We all know that there's climate change. And for the past 4 or 5 years, there are issues of climate change going on. And we think we would have planned for this. And for us, we believe that in preventing this, instead of complain, I don't like to complain because if you complain, there is no solution. We want to give advice to the government, the federal government especially, because these are gone beyond local government or state government. It's time that we start creating. We've been saying this, that we know that these yearly occurrences, and with the coming of the climate change, we know that we are going to have this problem. We know it. Then what are we doing to prevent it? We have told them before that federal government should now create what you call sponge city, or in our own terms here, we can call it farm settlements around this corridor of Benue and the Niger River. If you create farm cities, then you can now drain this water. You can now channel those waters to those cities and create small dams around those farm settlements. First, it will help the farmers, and it will even help to control the flood that is coming. And if it will create more wealth in these areas. And we are lucky as a country that we have enough sun where you can create solar energy around those farm settlements. We just left both our forest value without doing anything, and we left our water channels value. Now we're having flood. By the time it's March, April, when we start farming, you see that we don't even have the water again. We are lucky that God has sent this water to us, but we are not proactive in this area. It is time that we have to rise in preventing this flood, and also creating wealth through this flood. We don't allow flood when we have where we can channel the water to. We can the federal government and state government and local government can join hand now to create these areas and within those corridors, and it will help us. We put cattle ranches, we put farms, houses, we put in that corridor. We have the water. So these are my advice to the government. Let's create some and then create awareness, and then also make sure that within those corridors there are certain perimeter or certain area that you cannot even come nearby, so that this type of occurrences will be prevented.
All right. There's a wise saying that the best time to plant a tree was probably 5 years ago. The next best time to plant a tree is today or yesterday. Now, let's look at the immediate solutions, because there are talks that food shortage is actually very imminent as this flood continues to ravage farmlands. In the immediate, what can be done to ensure that we do not go into a crisis mode in terms of food shortage, no thanks to this floods ravaging farmlands? What can be done in the immediate while we work towards future plans to ensure that this solution is actually tackled once and for all?
First of all, the NEMA or SEMA, they call it, should, as matter of urgency, go into the rescue of the villagers. And then we also, as a matter of urgency, let the financial sectors help to look at the farmers, what they are lost, and then which area they can as quickly as possible start cultivating or harvesting those areas that is not affected. And they have to quickly provide logistics to farmers around these corridors. That will help the farmers to be able to quickly go back to their area where the flood does not affect, and then be able to now maybe look at the farm, put necessary measures, or harvest those ones that they can harvest and send back to their reservoirs. I think these are measures we need to take, and then we need, as a country, also to now look at how we can provide for the villagers that have lost most of their needs, especially their homes and their destiny. And then look at the way we can do resettlement. Instead of allowing them going back to these areas, we can now create resettlement areas that has some within those corridors for the farmers and for the villagers. So if you create a new resettlement for them, this will help them. And then quickly, this will also now take them out of the area that the flood can affect them in future. I think these are some measures we need to take. And then we need to put channelization of this area, waterways, and then improve our waterway project in order to open up those corridors.
All right, Madam Mohammed, I like the fact that you made reference to climate change and the fact that you knew that this was coming and you were prepared. As you know, NIMET warned in February that there will be flooding, the rainwaters will be heavy this year. But I would like your thoughts on why a particular dam, the Ladgo Dam in the northern part of Cameroon, will continue to, cause havoc, wreak havoc in Nigeria anytime that the dam is open. This is a dam that has been completed since 1982. Why is it that in the last few years that it has become so problematic for Nigeria? Does that particular dam also cause, issues in Cameroon where it is located? How come it is in the north central and the southeast of Nigeria that each time they open it up, it creates problem in Nigeria? I would like your thoughts on that, please.
That is why I say we must, as people and as a government, be able to be proactive we know over years, over 30, 20 years, that each time they open that dam, it flood around Nigeria. It comes to Nigeria and they create a flood. Why do we wait for now? This happened in 4 years ago, that people cannot even pass Lokoja Abuja Road for some days. Now the worst has happened this year, that it's now taking almost 10 days that people cannot, there's no movement. So why do we wait for now? We know that this will happen. So what I will advise, as I've earlier said, is that we must now sit down as people, create measure with which we know that this, what if the dam if entirely broke down? Cameroon cannot control it, and we have not put up measures. It will sweep most of our cities even. So therefore, it is time now, not yesterday to tomorrow, today. Today, as we are talking with you, they should take their pen and start looking at how they will now state those channels, how they will create these sponge cities, how would they create farm settlement, how would they now resettle people, put resettlement areas which is far from where the flood, so that they can create a plain land where those water can move on, and then be able to now channel those water to those new villages, and those new villages will be built with aim that they are farm settlement, and that this water can be channeled to those areas. If you channel this water to those villages will even use those channels area to transport to come to city. They don't even need to bother, we won't bother ourselves, but they ourselves with road. Those channels can now be part of where we have water movement within those corridors, and it will now create new villages around that area. What does it cost Nigerian? We have to do it now, than not tomorrow, today as I'm talking to you. Federal government must look into it and look at how we can quickly solve this problem, because it's a problem that will be occurring every year. It has been occurring and it will continue to occur, and therefore put areas, measures in place, create sponge cities, create a channel, take people out of that area, resettle them within that area, and put infrastructures for them. Electricity is very important. Then you can create solar energies around that area for them. You can create a new city out of this, so that they don't even go back into that place, and next year again you see another disaster. So I think it's time that we wake up as a country.
All right, you said time to wake up as a country. Some will say that you've mentioned that it's very expedient that the federal government takes action, but people are some are fearful. Analysts are fearful that we're in a political season and all attention is geared towards the election, and that might just take the politicians and the administration's eye off the ball for a moment, and before you know what's happening, we are back to where we are this time next year, talking about this, a new administration just trying to settle in. What can be done to put pressure on the government to ensure that, regardless of the fact that campaigns have begun, regardless of the fact that there are massive preparation towards elections, that this is taken very seriously, is as important even as the election that is to hold next year, February?
As people, we must take our destiny in our hand. We must now look at, is it taking money, 10 naira, or taking rice, or taking the helpers, or looking at the manifestos of the candidates? What are they coming to do to you? Especially, let's give an example of the riverine areas. These are their problem. Flooding is major problem they encounter. If anybody come there to campaign to you, do you want to let him give you the roadmap of what is he going to do about this flood? What is he going to do about creating a new farm settlement? What is his plan in electricity for you? These are what I would urge electorate to look at. look at their manifesto, look at what they said they would do, agree with them, and then when they get to office, we keep on reminding them, this is what you said you would do around this area. This is what you say you would do in the north. This is what you say you would do in the south. This is what you say you do around flood area. This is what you say you do around electricity. This is what you say you would do. So until we get into politics of issue base, not for people to go and start campaigning to you, I'm from the north, no, I'm from the south, I have one sickness, I don't sick. No. It is time that Nigerians take their destiny in their hand and look at who has those manifesto, who has done it before, who is ready to do it. If he has not done it before, did he have some antecedents that will show that he can do it? This award Nigerian issue-based politics is what we need from our campaign. Not a matter of somebody is sick, somebody has traveled, somebody is from the north, somebody is from the south, he said this. That does not put food in our table. So I advise Nigerians that we have problem in our hand. The country is collapsing in every aspect. Our electricity is down. We can see what is happening in Niger Delta. We can see how our oil has been stolen over years. And very soon you will not hear about it any longer. So are we wanting to live a country that we will all, for our own great-grandchildren, that is nowhere? Or we want to build a country that in between now and 30 years, because we have the potential, especially agriculture, aquatic resources. We have all the natural resources. And we can take the world to Nigerian by improving our agricultural activities. But we have neglected. We've neglected the whole way. This flood should be of an advantage to Nigeria. But today it's of disadvantage to us. There are countries that if they have this, they will have. We're supposed to have reservoirs where we can reserve this water for use. We don't have. We don't even care. Today, the only road that links the north and south, which is Lokoja, is blocked. Our aviation system is down. So what Nigerians will ask politicians is, what do you have for us? Where is your manifesto? Instead of, and then I urge INEC, I know they've tried their best, ban distribution of materials during campaign. Somebody will go and tag rice, put his pictures. You should be arrested. Is it right that we help them? This time that we must rise as people. This time that we must change the country. This time that we leave blame games. This government has come, it has not done this. The other government has come. Let's start a new leaf from now. We are just starting, they just start campaigning. Let's leave them, bring them to tables. And I want to also urge the press to also help us to ask these questions. Bring out their manifestos. When they are telling us that they are from the south or they are from the north, let us ask them, what have you done to warrant that? Because you have the right to be our leader. We must not allow those that cannot help the country to come, because this is a critical moment in our time. We must develop our economy. The world look down to Africa, and African is where the greens are. The agricultural sector that will take Nigerian into the world map. We've lost a lot of other opportunities.
All right.
So these opportunities, because today the world needs food. Nigeria has the food.
Okay. We
have all the grains that they will need in the world. We have all the byproduct. And the federal government should come up to ban exportation of raw material. Let them bring their machines here, process it here, and then you can export from here. You don't come and take our Goma Arabic from Maiduguri and then take it there, then send it back to us to buy when you have processed it. We must encourage processing. I think these are what we should look from our politicians, both APC, both PDP, both any other parties. So for us, Nigerian first.
All right.
And we must do away with politics of tribalism, religion, or sentiment, because it has not put food in our table.
All right, that's well said. But you are also a member of the APC, the ruling party. So when you say that Nigeria is collapsing, is that a verdict on the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, or is it an admonition to the incoming president, whichever of them it will be? And then what role should we expect that you will play now that it looks like your party is tidying up the presidential campaign council, etc.? Are you fully involved, and are you in support of what your party is doing with the candidate and with the plans to sell him to Nigerians?
For us, we believe that not necessarily that I'm involved. I'm not an individualism. I want the country first before me. So whoever will come that will better the country. And I'm very happy that APC brought somebody that has antecedents. He has done it before. We have seen how he has put both human and natural resources together. And he has set a state called Lagos. And today, among the states in Nigeria, Lagos is in the map of the world as an economic hub. So if somebody like that can come, I'm very happy that my party have him. And I'm very happy that if you look at even his vice presidential candidate, Kashim Shettima, he has done it before. He's person today that after leaving office, his predecessors continue with his project. And his project has been of showcase to Nigeria. You can see that anybody, anywhere you talk of Zulum, they know it's a predecessor of Kashim Shettima. So now you have a presidential candidate, which if you look at his political antecedents, he was there when we are fighting the military. He fought for this democratic process that we are enjoying today. After getting to office, he was able to put both natural and human and natural resources together. And from where Lagos was just a slum, today Lagos is in the map of the world. We have seen that even his predecessors, he has been able to put success people around, governors, about 3 or 4 now. And he has also been able to take some of them into the federal level. And he has been able to put infrastructures that has made Lagos tick. So I'm happy to have both of them in the APC ticket. What they've done before will sell them to Nigeria, and that they can do it. This flood we are talking, you know how flooded that the Ikoyi used to be. You can see the measure they took. In fact, building a city on that corridor. So he has done. Hello?
It's Victoria Island, actually.
I bought Victoria Island and Ikoyi used to be flooded. But today, you can see that he has built even a city where what we are thinking cannot be possible is possible. And the world are buying into it.
Right,
even the American embassy are going to put their biggest...
Mohammed, for your time here on The Morning Show. I want to say thank you very much.